up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Brandon back on Motor Nubs, and this video is just going to be a follow-up kind of review, that kind of thing on the 7.3 powerstroke van turbo swap. A lot of people recommend doing this. I ended up doing it, and when I did it, I also changed out the I believe it's the inducer, the intake side wheel on the van turbo for a billet wheel. I don't remember the exact name of the billet wheel. It was basically like the Wicked Wheel 2, but another company started making their own. I'll put that down in the description if I can find it. But anyway, right off the bat, first impressions when I first put it on here, I did a video, I don't know, it's probably been coming up on a year now. The truck was boosting around 35-ish PSI. It had good power, but it was noticeable that I lost a little bit of power on the bottom end coming off of the stock 2001 turbo that had a little bit smaller exhaust side housing, and the van turbo, which had a little bit bigger exhaust side housing and also is non-wastegated. So the more fuel you push through it, the more boost it'll make. But I noticed I didn't really gain any actual PSI, but I guess the extra airflow of the bigger exhaust side was able to just push more air in. Maybe I don't really know. I don't know. But anyway, power felt better up top. It pulls all the way to the top, and you don't feel that noticeable fall off around the like 2,500 RPM rev range like the stock turbo had. I don't know if that's just to do with the van turbo swap, or if it's also the van turbo in conjunction with the billet wheel. But regardless, I don't recommend the swap. I actually want to go back to a stock turbo or go to a GT, I believe it's the 38R, which is the drop-in ball bearing version of the stock turbo. And the reason why I want to do this is because I've lost some of my low-end power. For driving around normally unhooked, not a problem. I notice it when I go and hook up a trailer and put a machine on the back, or try to pull a car or a truck around. The loss of power down low is noticeable. I'm not happy with it. By all means, like, this truck is not a race truck. I don't need my power band moved up higher. Yeah. And now another thing, and I think this probably has more to do with the wheel swap. I've noticed I've got a little bit of shaft play on the turbo, and it's also not boosting as hard as it used to. So I dropped it off at my buddy J Mills Tuning. He did a boost leak test on it, and found that I had 2 spots that were leaking a little bit of boost. We fixed those, and now the whole system is good for like 40 PSI. He was like way over checking it, which I told him to, and no issues. The whole system was holding for 40 PSI, no leak down. So the reduction in boost is probably the fact that my turbo is wearing out, and it's significant. Wide open throttle, I'm making low 20s to mid 20s, like 25 PSI boost now. So I lost anywhere from 5 to 7 PSI across a year, and I'm not gonna blame the van turbo. I'm gonna blame the wheel. That you swap it and they say it's balanced, but is it really balanced? And it's probably taking a toll on the bearings on the turbo, because now it's got a little bit of shaft play. I'm losing a little bit of oil through the turbo. I can, it's a little oily inside the intake. Yeah, won't be doing that again. So it looks like a drop-in Garrett ball bearing, the GT. I believe it's the 38R. I think that's going to be the next step, if not back to just a 100% stock turbo. Yeah, so comment down below if you guys have a 7.3 powerstroke and you've done the van turbo swap, or you're thinking about doing the van turbo swap, or you did a different turbo on your 7.3. Let me know what you guys are thinking, that kind of thing. And any recommendations for me swapping over would be great. So let me get some videos of the truck boosting, and you can definitely see how boost comes on slower with the van turbo. So thank you guys. Yeah, let's roll some good footage. Yeah. Alright, let's pop this bad boy open. Try to give y'all a look at the actual turbo. Let me zoom in. Hold on, let me wipe the... Why is it so blurry? Okay, guess it's not as blurry. But as you can see, it is a Garrett, and an easy way to check if it's a van turbo, especially if it's already mounted up to a Super Duty and he's like telling you, hey man, it's a van turbo, just go over to the exhaust side and look, there's no wastegate mounted onto the exhaust side. The only other Power Strokes that come without a wastegate are the old body style, the OBSs, and I believe the early 99s. But those are a smaller turbo and they won't bolt up to the 99.5 or late 99 and up, so 2000, 2001 Super Duties, because they use a different up pipe and a different spider plenum where the turbo actually sits. So, and when you compare this turbo to the OBS and also the early 99 turbo, this one's a lot bigger on not only the intake side and the exhaust side, but when you compare this to the Power Stroke 99 to 03 stock turbo that came on these trucks, it's just the exhaust side that's bigger. The intake side is basically the same, so you just get that bigger exhaust side and moves your power band up higher. So yeah, and you can actually see on the intake side of the compressor housing, let me get in there, see this that mount right there, that is the mount for the wastegate. And you notice there's nothing there because there's no wastegate. So it looks like they use a lot of the same parts from the turbo, the stock turbo, for the van turbo. I don't know why the van turbo did not have wastegates on it. I guess they were just controlling boost with fuel, and they didn't give the vans much fuel. Heck, these trucks stock don't get a whole lot of fuel, so it's not like you're gonna overboost. I'm barely hitting 20 psi on this turbo now. I think it's a little hurt. I'm gonna do another leak down boost test to test all the pipes and stuff, but I don't think I'm leaking anything. I'm not getting that distinct high pitch, like, you know, whistly noise from like a leaking pipe. So I think it's time to be popping that turbo out. So thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for checking it out. If you're thinking about doing one of these turbos, just know what you're getting into before. It's in my opinion not a huge upgrade and not worth the money. I probably would save the money and go for the next step up, or if you're just looking to replace a turbo, just throw another stock one on there. So yeah, all right guys, have a good one. Later.